Hi, everybody. Welcome to the new normal. I'm your host, Lisa Davis, aka Litecoin Lisa, and today is Tuesday. So my buddy Satoshi Sean, he is here. I'm really excited. We are going to be talking about this space and it maturing. Crypto Twitter and all things crypto are growing up, and it's time for it. So I'm really excited about it, and I'm excited to bring my friend Sean on. So you guys give us a like, share this video, and let's see what we have to talk about right after this. Hey, Sean, welcome to the show. Good to see you.
Great to see you, as usual. As always.
Usual. I love having you on.
Good to see everyone in the chat. Hey, Nana.
Hi, Mom and Daddy-O and Patty. I haven't seen Patty McMullen in a while. Good to see you in the chat, too. Tom is there. Glasswalker, Magic Torch. Yes, Patty McMullen is Irish and a dude. And Satoshi Sean is in the chat as well. So good stuff.
He's
good
also
stuff.
Irish.
And he's also Irish.
Why his name is spelled that way.
And Rick, yes. And that's why Sean's name is spelled that way. That's right. We've talked about that before. So in the intro, I was talking about crypto Twitter growing up. I just got off of a call with some friends of mine on a project that I'm on. And yes, and Public Awakening is here too. Me too. My little brother says. So speaking of growing up.
Good to see you, man.
He just had a birthday. So, so it's just really interesting to watch the maturing in this space. And you were recently on with Miss Teen Crypto, who we all adore. Mm-hmm. And I was telling you about, we were talking about how positive she is and like what a bright light she is in the space and so intelligent and how much we both just adore her. And I said, yeah, that's why, I was so angry when she came on the scene and got attacked. And you were like, what? Who would do that? That's like kicking puppies,
Yeah. It's like someone be like, oh, I really hate puppies. Damn kittens. Like, what?
Right. Who would do that? Yeah. So there was a group of ladies, and I use that term loosely, that were, I'm sure, threatened by her. Because she came in and, she had all this support because she's connected with the Litecoin fam and has, family members that are part of the Litecoin fam. And so she came in and had all this immediate support and came on the scene. And so these other people who were, really using their sexuality to promote themselves and, all this were really threatened by her because she wasn't. She was just being, this fresh face. I'm into crypto and I want to talk to Gen Z and I really want to promote crypto. And I'm not here to, what did they used to call it? Thirst post or something like that.
Hey, Glasswalker. Good to see you here.
Anyway.
She's very wholesome. That is true.
Yes, she is very wholesome. Yeah.
I don't understand what you're talking about. I really don't get it. When you said people were giving her crap, it
was awful. Yeah.
She's literally like just nothing but positivity at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there were some people that were very threatened by her with that and were really ugly. And
OnlyFans chick got pissed.
I don't know who that.
OnlyFans chick.
He would know. It was somebody that, is famous, in her own words, famous for, walking around in her underwear. But so, but a lot of people, but you look that, do what?
Said I used to be famous for that.
You are?
I used to be.
Well, and and to their, everybody chooses what you choose, what you do, and that's fine, but you don't go attack someone else for
Yeah.
what they're doing. You know what I mean? Be
I'm still
strong in
confused by what you're
yourself.
saying. I don't know what happened or what anyone would say or who the people are.
They were like saying that her dad was pimping her out and that her dad was this and that. And she was an adult when she
Well, I think,
came on.
yeah, but her dad is just very, I think, protective of her because he's a single dad
Yes.
like me, and he's a
Yeah.
single dad of a girl.
The last thing he was doing was pimping her out. He
Yeah,
was actually very protective of
yeah,
her,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and she's very innocent, and she was excited about cryptocurrency, and it was her idea, and she was getting on social media and talking about crypto, and that was it. And they were trying to make it some horrible thing. Anyway, so yeah, there's just some ugly people, but my point in that is like that is not that degen in the basement, smut talking, all that kind of stuff. That time and space in crypto is over, and big business is coming in. And if you're going to behave like that, like if you look at the people that are successful in crypto, look at the women in crypto that are successful: Wendy O, Naomi Brockwell. Why are you doing that with your microphone?
Because TPA said that my mic was low, so I'm just
Oh.
making sure it was my mic and not my, because it switches to my what's the thing called, the camera, webcam, the microphone there sometimes, and that's crappy. So
No.
okay, how do I adjust my mic volume? I don't know. Is it better? Is it better? I talk louder.
Yeah, Mom, I was going to mention Layla Halpern as well.
A lot of women.
Natalie Brunell,
So I was wondering,
all
like those people.
these.
I'm glad you said those people because I was thinking it was those people.
No, those are all classy, professional,
Yeah. Okay.
very professional ladies in crypto, that present themselves. They're intelligent. They have thoughts and ideas. They don't trash themselves, about, they have, intelligent conversations. But there are other people that now you can't even really think of them because they're not really relevant, mostly anymore. So anyway, but that's the kind of thing that you're seeing in this space, I think, is the space maturing in a way that's really positive, and more professional. And it's exciting to see that, move forward.
You said like professional. I think that's a good word for everything, because we were talking about GameFi before we started.
Yeah.
And things they were so basic. And the weird thing is, which I've said this for like a year now, that everything with crypto that we always dreamed about, we've talked about, in the goal, banking the unbanked and giving sovereignty to people over their money, and fighting back against the banks and slavery and all that kind of stuff. These noble, huge, lofty goals were realized with video games, which still blows my mind. Where the thing that really pushed mass adoption and put money in people's pockets was play to earn video games. When you look at reality is me and you living in the United States. We're great. But the majority of the world,
Right.
not just some, the majority of the world, the basic income is very low. It's hundreds of dollars a month. When you take away Europe, North America, even Mexico, it's not that high. The majority is a few $100s a month of what income is, and if you can make $200 to $400 a month playing a game in your spare time, that's doubling and sometimes tripling your income. That's life changing to people, and these are real change where you have a 12-year-old kid or 13-year-old kid, which you have to decide: are you going to have to go to work? Or are you going to be able to go to school? Are you going to go sell trinkets to tourists so that we can afford to have food and maybe electricity? Or are you going to have to go in the fields or something, even worse than selling trinkets to,
Right.
to tourists? So, and those kids can go to school and then play a game and contribute to their household. That's like really life changing. And it was video games. It was that space that did it. I think the pandemic really helped that along, really gave that a shot in the arm. But
Shot in the arm.
now I'm seeing video games. The games before, the focus was on earning. The focus was on cryptocurrency. The focus was on it's a blockchain game. And now I think that a lot of real game developers, traditional game developers, legacy game developers are coming over and creating good video games that are just cool, that are fun to play, that the main focus isn't on earning and isn't on cryptocurrency. It's about a really cool game. So that maturing of the space, it's kind of like NFTs, went from being really just a JPEG to really cool art, really
Speaking
really
of
cool utility, and then like fun things like artists being able to connect with their with their fans. There's but the evolution is so fast. I mean, there really wasn't a GameFi industry a year or so ago. It was very, very small. It was very, very basic. And the stuff that's coming out now, it is. I mean, it'll rival most most MMOs and other online games. The quality is just insane in such a short period of time. It's cool.
I've got to show you. So Lucha Paletti's like one of my favorite NFT artists, and he sent me the NFT for my Moneta Divina piece of artwork that somebody sent me for Christmas. And so I went to claim it, and I think it's, let's see, which one is it? He shared a copy of it on his Twitter, and it's so cool. That's not the one. I think this one's it. Yeah, this is it. I think this is it. Pretty sure this is Moneta Divina. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I mean, that is incredible.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Look how beautiful this is. Like, it's not done yet. Hold on. Is that so beautiful? So I have a print of the final piece, but you can't even see the whole artwork until you really see the NFT.
Yeah.
It just blows me away. He's so talented. One of these days I'll get to meet him. But I don't know why it's unliked, because I like it like a million times, and they unlike all my stuff.
Glasswalker's done is really, really cool too.
Yes. I love Glasswalker. I'll go find his stuff too. So are they doing NFTs with games too? Like you can win NFTs with games?
That's part of the whole
or
revolution.
You play with?
Like I used to work for Xbox, and
Really?
Yeah.
Tell me more.
That's what I did before I got into crypto full time. But
I didn't know that.
To see, and I've been a gamer, forever, since the beginning days in the ancient times of the Intellivision and Atari. But to see people spent so much money on worthless stuff like Fortnite. My nephew just spends, it must be thousands of dollars in that game. It's a free game, but he just spends so much money. Every dollar you give him, he's like, Uncle Sean, let me have $20. I'm like, no,
No,
man, it's just a waste of money. It doesn't.
because you can't get anything back.
But
Yeah.
even it doesn't even do anything. It's just cosmetic. It just looks different, right? But still, once you get it, you can't do anything with it. And in other games, like you'll work really hard, or you'll even buy something in a game where it helps you for like a little bit, maybe a week or so or a day, and then you evolve to where your level is higher, and it's worthless to you. That money was spent and is just, you set it on fire. Whereas now in blockchain games with NFTs, if that item is an NFT and you own it, you can sell it to someone else. It creates a secondary market where that thing that you really needed to help you get your levels, or to improve you in the game, you can sell it back to someone for more or less than you paid for it, but that person can get a better deal and you recoup some of your money. So it's basically giving value to things that had no value at all. They were literally just they were like value to one person and then it was gone. But with video games now, everything's an NFT. I just did a review on this game. It's like The Sims. I don't know if you remember what the Sims are, but it was
It's kind of like a virtual reality life or something.
Yeah, it was basically like a metaverse before metaverse was a thing, and it was all contained. But everything's an NFT. So you have your apartment, your couch is an NFT, your table is an NFT, the lamp is an NFT. If your friends come over to be like, hey, I like that lava lamp, can I buy the lava lamp from you? You can sell them that. It's everything. It's everything's an NFT. Your apartment itself is an NFT, so you can sell that real estate. You can move on up and buy a nicer apartment. It's opened up so much. And the thing I wanted to say first is when I was working for Xbox, I think it was 2015. Virtual clothing outsold real clothing that year.
Really?
In the world, yeah. As I remember, that was such a huge thing to me, and that was huge to anyone, because people would talk about little video games, and then when you say that statement, that's a huge thing. But all of those clothes that sold more, people spent more than they did on real clothing. That was all just worthless. It's all gone. It had no real value after that. Whereas now, as an NFT, it's there. It can be a hand me down,
right?
To people. It was just such a revolution to think about.
I watched I don't know if it was I guess it was a documentary, because it was some kind of movie, and I think it was about crypto. No, maybe it wasn't about crypto. It might have been an Xbox thing or a gaming thing. I cannot remember now, but it was like these people it was their job, or their whatever, they had turned it into a job, and they lived like in other countries where, they had a, lower income or whatever,
like
but they were able to provide for their family by creating online. Like this one lady, she would build houses for people online in imaginary worlds. And then somehow there was like, I don't know if it was a hack or something happened. And like, there was all these people got locked out, or this platform went down or something. And these people's lives were like devastated because that was their income. So I don't know if it was like a Sims thing, or I don't know that much about gaming. So
there was a thing called, now you won't, I'm going to put my tinfoil hat on here. There was this game that was around, still is, but it was around a long time ago, called Second Life. And it was
was it, Second Life. There was a whole movie about it. And like
my cousin,
this one couple was really cheating on, but in Second Life. And
there was a lot when it came to Second Life, but my cousin was super into it, and she still has a store, but they were broke. She was broke, and that was like her side income. She had a store. She would like make pets, and she would do all that, and she would make like probably half of her income was coming from Second Life. Now the weird thing is that Craig Wright, Roger Ver, all the people from the beginning of Bitcoin were connected to Second Life. That's a place where
Really?
a lot of people. That was where you could sell Bitcoin and buy Bitcoin from. Was from Second Life. They had one of the first digital currencies called Linden.
Okay.
That you could convert in your PayPal and turn to USD. So that was one of the first real digital economies ever.
Oh
Um,
my gosh.
and there's a huge connection to the cypherpunks and the original crypto guys. They had some kind of connection to Second Life, which I really want to do more research on and find
So
out.
there's a documentary, and I want to say it's on Netflix called Second Life.
Mhm.
You guys should go try to watch it. It is so it was interesting to see, but like these people's so what can you remember what the story was? Like Second Life got shut down or hacked,
Yeah, it was something with it, but
or it's like
it's
it
still
was her
really.
job to build houses, and then all of a sudden she turned it on one day, and like everyone was building houses, or something like that. Like it went from only being her
It
to
really was like it was a Second Life. My cousin would just talk about all this drama and this person, like it was real. And I'm like, you're so weird, man. And then there's like really like kind of dark stuff and weird sex stuff and like portions of it. And then there's just which I thought it was like mainly that's what it was. And then there's like regular like Minecraft and people just having fun. And then there's like weird animals like those Tamagotchis, and you've got to like raise the eggs. And then it's kind of like NFTs. You have this egg you take care of, and then it turns into could be like a rare pet or this whatever animal. And she would raise those and then sell them. And if it was like a super rare one, she could sell for like a couple $100. And it was so involved. It really was this other like universe. Um, but yeah, that was one of the first digital economies. Was that, and the currency was Linden.
Second Life.
Yeah.
So is there a game like that now that's cryptocurrency?
Well, there's a lot that are in the works.
Okay.
Actually, one of the first ICOs I ever took part in. What was the name of that thing? I forget. But it was supposed to be this huge, virtual reality sandbox, and there's been a couple that have tried to do it. Everyone's talking about Nintendo in the chat now.
Because Cannon was saying, he's like, well, we need to just build a Minecraft that you earn crypto on and pay in crypto. And so he does Scratch, that our friends, the voice from the Divi project, he's knows Crypto Show on Twitter. He introduced it to the website, and it's free. Anybody can go set up an account, and it was created by some people from MIT, and it's scratch.mit.edu, and it's great for kids, and it teaches them how to code by moving these blocks. They watch these short little videos, instructional videos, and then they move these little colored blocks, and they make sound, and then
you were telling me about that. I was going to tell my nephew
yeah,
about
you need to tell all the kids in your life about it. It's like really cool. And they actually could turn those short little videos and games into an NFT then. So our goal was by the end of the school year, but I think we're going to have to extend it through summer. But because it was our first year of homeschooling, so we're need a little more time. But we're was to get, and he's got a couple videos. I mean, I guess we could go ahead and do it, but then we were going to get with Miss Teen Crypto and have her help us open a store on Wax and put his NFTs on there. And then he was going to have his own little store that he then can create these videos on Scratch or or images and
Yeah,
turn them into
my nephew,
NFTs
what is it? He
and sell
builds
them.
Roblox and something else. And you
Yeah, he
can't ask
likes
him about it because
Roblox.
he'll talk to you for like an hour and a half.
Oh,
I
no.
mean, the
We
interest.
just let him get on Minecraft again. I call it Minecraft, but he just got to get on it over at my house, which I guess he plays over when he's at his dad's. But I just let him get on it at my house. And he's like, Mom, come look at what I built, And he's like,
Yeah,
I've been mining copper. I smelted all this. And it takes
yeah.
this many copper things to smelt a copper that and
It's
whatever. And I was like, oh,
that's how
Lord.
Simple Man got started. We're all
What Simple Man?
but yeah, he
Is that another game?
what?
Simple Man?
No,
Or
Simple Man. The cryptocurrency was like one of the biggest YouTubers there was. Superman.
oh,
He made Minecraft videos. That's
are
how
you
his
kidding?
channel was started. But yeah, I thought that was funny. Um, but yeah, the intricacy of Minecraft is like insane. And you can get lost. That's one of the biggest time wasters there is, man.
Oh,
I'll tell you.
Glasswalker said it's already underway.
Yeah,
Minecraft
I saw that.
crypto game. Look up NFT worlds. That's the name of the game being built on the Minecraft engine. Oh, Canon will be so excited.
Yeah, I can imagine that. Me and Rice have talked about taking air coins and making some kind of hybrid with like NFT and people being able to mine. But it's kind of a big undertaking of a project to do. But we'd like to do it. We'd like to do that. Um, I think Aircoins is a really cool game, but I think it could be so much more. Uh, do you play?
I don't play any games. I don't know how to play a game. You have to teach me. That's why I want to do that
Free,
for.
and you get crypto.
I
That's
want to
like
do
one of the
that for my
biggest things
patrons. Yeah.
for forever because I could talk to people about crypto, and then I'm like, hey, look at this Aircoins, and they're like, oh, it's like Pokemon Go.
I
Just
don't
go get
even know
crypto.
what.
Like, yeah, you just walk around and there's crypto all around you, and you just go find it. It's all AR, you know.
What? So I got to put the goggles on and all that.
No, that's
I don't
VR.
want to do that.
Dear. AR is augmented. So you just hold your phone up and like there's your kitchen, and then there's like a Bitcoin right there. You just tap it and then you get,
Well, who put it there?
Aircoins did. So how it works is like a project will. It's very smart. They'll be like, hey, we want to get the word out, and then they have a big community, everyone that uses Aircoins. So they're like, hey, we'll give you, like $10,000 worth of our coin, and then they put it into the system, so it's everywhere, and then people in the community then learn about it. And let's say you're, walking around and you see XYZ coin, you tap it, then it goes in your wallet in the game, and then you go look at it. You have a 0.25 XYZ coin. And then it tells you a brief synopsis. XYZ coin does this and this, and they aim to do this. And there's a link to their website. So it's great for
Interesting.
project. It educates people, and then it gives people free crypto. So
Wow, that is a pretty cool project.
yeah.
Okay, and that would be fun to do at our meetups. That'd be something like, that's like a hide and seek game,
Yeah, and
like
it's
a
really
live
weird.
crypto hide and seek game.
It's
I
really
need to
weird.
talk to them and see if they'll
I was
sponsor us.
went to this one party, and BitBoy was there. I was in Austin, and I was hanging out, and then I think it was J Change or someone's like, "Oh man, we're in Austin, a new place. Got to get the Aircoins." So everybody whips out their phone, and there was a coin at BitBoy's crotch, and I was like, "That's funny." And then like half an hour later, we're by the pool. Pull out my phone, another coin right in his crotch. Happened like 3 times. I'm like, dude, what is going on with this? So I
Did he
interviewed.
put it there himself?
No, I interviewed the founder of Aircoins, and I'm like, did you do something with that? How? And he was like, what are you talking about? I said, every time I would look, there would be a coin in Big Boy's crotch every time.
And
I
he's
was like,
like, well, why are you looking there? B, no.
phone. It's like, oh, that's okay. But it was
Oh my
pretty funny.
goodness. That's
Sega
funny.
Master System, yeah. I was a Sega dude more than a Nintendo
Sega.
guy back in the day. Mr. X had everything. So actually, we have every game console ever made at the house, at least one. You name it,
See,
we
the
got it.
only one I ever had, we had Atari back in the day. That Donkey Kong and I don't know, Pac-Man. But that
Pac-Man,
was when I was like in 3rd grade. And then after
Asteroids.
that, we were just broke and we didn't have any video games.
I remember when I got Atari, that was like so cool.
Yeah, that was a
Only
big deal.
my rich uncle had it, and my cousins, and I always go over there and play it. But they had
Mhm.
they had it in television, so we played Pong first, and then they got an Atari, and that was like I literally they lived like 2 towns over.
Pac-Man.
I would ride my bike for like 3 hours. Like, oh, hi Barb, I love you. I just want to come visit. Like, you rode your bike all the way here, Shawnee. What are you doing? You can't do that. Look at this, Gene. He wore flip flops and he rode his bike all the way here. I was like, yeah, I better go relax in the den, play some
I'm
Atari.
exhausted. I need to
Yeah.
rest up for my 3-hour ride back.
Yeah, no, they would never let me ride back. They
Oh,
always drove me back.
they put your bike in the back, in the
Yeah.
trunk. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, my mother says, "Oh, you were fine. You had bottle caps to feed. You didn't have any time to play at video games." Yes, I know, Mom. We were busy.
We had bottle caps.
Oh,
We had to go on field trips to
yes.
see animals when I was a kid.
No, we didn't have to go on field trips. They were right in the backyard. Yeah, it
We
was
did.
fun.
That was exotic stuff, man. You know,
Yeah.
what was weird that no one ever talks about still is that cows don't have like 2 rows of teeth. They only have like what, upper or bottom.
Oh, because they have like, you mean bottom and then the flat part because they bite with
They can't
the
bite you.
grass.
Yeah, that was like because everyone's scared of it.
Well, they
I remember the
can
farmers
bite you.
was like, "Hey, look, stick your finger in their mouth." It was so weird. We like stuck our
Yeah.
hands in the cow's mouths. Like they can't bite your hand off because they
Wow.
can just grind grass. But yeah,
Yeah.
that was weird. I remember that was the weirdest
Mhm.
thing ever as a child that I can remember was that
Well, it's still
sticking
like
my
a flat, like it's a grinding surface though.
yeah, but they can't hurt you. You know,
Trust me, ask my mother. Cows can hurt you. My mom has been hurt
well,
by cows.
the farmer made us all stick our arms in the cow's mouth, so
Oh, well, there you go.
it was pretty weird.
At least you didn't have to stick your arm in the other end. So
No,
that was good.
no.
Yeah. No, I need to have you come on. I think we should do that this weekend to come on my channel for patrons. And oh, now Mom's giving us an education in cattle. Molars go up and down to grind.
Mhm.
So if you guys, we'll have Mom on to talk about cattle sometime. But yeah, I want to do that. I think that needs to be our next. We were going to do a class in February so we'll have to double up. I'll have to do 2 classes in March, but I wanted to do gaming class, so we can do that this weekend on Saturday.
Mr. X
Sometime.
says he grew
So
up with cows and horses. I did not. I grew up by the ocean, so no cows, no horses.
just sharks.
When I was little, we did have sharks.
There you go.
I got in a fight with a shark when I was a kid.
Oh, come on.
No, it was about the time of Jaws too. So it was like everybody's really tense. I remember we're out and the lifeguard was yelling shark. So everybody starts running in. And I was, going in and it was a big shark. And it came around, it swam around me and it hit me and cut my leg because it's really rough. And I was like, I think it was 8 or 9. So I was kind of scared. I punched it in the eye and then ran. So that was scary. And then one time I
Who
was,
punched you in the eye?
huh?
You said you got cut on the leg. Oh, you punched it in the
I punched
eye.
it in the eye and it swam away.
Oh my gosh.
Because it was surrounding or going around me, circling me. That's the word.
Yeah.
But it was a couple months later. I was fishing under a bridge, and so there's this overpass, and it was a real small, like tributary from the bay, and I was fishing, and a hammerhead swam through, and it swam towards me on the bay, or on the bank, and it was really gross bay mud, stunk, and this shark was, yeah, Jersey sharks, man, was coming after me, and I wasn't in the water, and I started to run, and my leg went down into the mud, like 2 feet down. I mean, it was like sucking me into it. So I pull my leg out, and the mud held my shoe and ripped my shoe off.
Oh no.
Yeah, and so I'm trying to get away. This shark's coming up on the land, like gonna beach itself, trying to eat me. And then it, went back in the water and swam off. But I had to go home without my shoe because it was gone. The mud closed up. My shoe was gone.
How is a shark getting up on the land and then just walks back over into
No,
the
it was
water?
so I'm fishing right here under the bridge
Okay,
and
I'm
standing on the mud. The shark's coming through. I was like, oh my god, that's a big hammerhead. And then it turns and comes at me, and it like came out of the water, and I'm turned and run. My leg goes in the mud, so I have to go home, and then it came and then just turned and swam off.
Mm-hmm.
But I told my mom, she's like, "Where's your brand new shoe?" I'm like, a shark tried to chase me, and I lost it in the mud when I was running from the shark. And of course, she pulled the wooden spoon out. It's like, you better
Yeah,
get your
good.
shoe. Like, I
Yeah.
can't get my shoe, Mom. The mud ate my shoe, and it's gone. And so I got a serious spanking for that. But
So
yeah,
you should have been more afraid of the wooden spoon than the shark,
I was, but
probably,
I mean, no, I'm still scared of sharks. I hate sharks.
but not wooden spoons
I have a
anymore.
phobia of sharks and maggots. But there's so many kinds of sharks. I used to think just sharks were just evil, but they're bad, like bull sharks, any of the tip sharks, black tip, whatever sharks. They're um. There's a lot of
When
sharks
you
that are aggressive, but there are a lot of good sharks too. So
well, when you come to our house, I'll be sure not to have you stay in Cannon's room because it's shark themed.
yeah,
Everything's sharks in his bedroom.
yeah.
He loves sharks.
It's I used to be really really weirded out about sharks, but because of the stuff that happened when I was a kid. But I'm a lot better now. So
Interesting.
maggots from Poltergeist. I really hate maggots so much. They're
Yeah, I
gross.
don't watch scary movies.
Yeah, the wooden spoon TVA, man. I remember we lived in an
Mm-hmm.
apartment when I was a kid, and our
Me
stove
too.
broke, and like they came in and were replacing the stove, and they pulled it out, and they were like, "Why is there like 7 wooden spoons behind the stove?" Because I used to take them and hide them, and my mom's like, "Where's the
That's
wooden spoon?" I
hilarious.
don't know. I would take it and just drop it behind the stove, so
That's
she couldn't
hilarious.
find it. So, but she just buy more.
Yeah. The rice ones were the best. Yeah. Too funny. Too funny. So what are some of your favorite, or what are some of the most high payout crypto games for people to play?
There's a lot, and I haven't been really into that very much. But recently, hey Ronnie, I've been checking it out and doing reviews on a lot of ones that are up and coming. The thing I hated about most games is the entry level is usually very expensive. It's like you need to get this NFT or this, and they're
Yes.
very expensive. So I like that there's a lot of the new games that are coming out. They're really good quality, like I said, but they're also a lot of free to play, and I think that's one of the biggest things.
Yeah, because my friend Miggy was telling me about one game, and I set Cannon up with I like opened one of my MetaMask wallets, and I started putting him on it, and then Miggy was like, "Oh, you have to buy this spell book, and it's $10." So I bought
Yeah.
that. But then I went on the game, and it was like $80 to do something else. And I was
Yeah,
like, whoa, 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 whoa.
to get
We got to
started,
have a talk.
sometimes it's so much,
I'm like,
and you
no.
don't, and that's the thing, you don't know if it's any good.
Yeah.
You
And then
can't
what's
really try it
next?
out.
Yeah.
So, and also when you do, something that's been very annoying for me is there's not like a tutorial. There's not so much of it is just, you've got to figure it out. Um, which is something that regular gamers kind of, it gets on your nerves. You buy a game and the tutorials are so long and boring. But with a lot of blockchain games, they're just not, because developers are smart people, and that's
Hmm.
that's the biggest problem with projects that I've been part of, is that these ultra brilliant nerds do not know how regular people think, and they assume that people are so much more technically savvy than they are, than
Yes.
really
There's a
are.
huge disconnect
Yeah,
from the engineer. It's like they need a translator.
they do, and that's like if I was an advisor or something on it, that I would do that.
Ah,
I'm like,
okay.
you don't understand how like rednecks are.
Hmm.
You know, it's like, oh, they know this and they know that, and people could do this. I said, no, they don't. I remember when I was when I was working for Microsoft, we were in a class, and then there was like some super technical dude was talking, and I said, people don't know like understand a lot of this. He's like, everyone understands that. Everyone knows this. I said, nobody
No.
knows that. And then he said something about the little key on your keyboard, the little Windows symbol.
Hmm.
That's a command key. No, see, he said, yeah, you just push Windows and C and push Window F, and then it brings up this, or I can bring up the store. And I'm like, no one knows that. No one knows what that. People think that's the menu button to bring up the menu. He goes, everyone knows it's command key. You push that and a different sequence, and it brings up other programs. It automatically
Mm-mm.
executes programs. Everyone knows it. I said, dude, nobody knows that. I said, I've never heard that before, and I work here. So there is always this real big disconnect. Um, but the last project I reviewed, they had a bunch of stuff on Medium on how to get started and how to play. So it seems like they're like we're talking about the maturing of the space. It really it is.
Hmm.
It is.
So Phil C says, so these play to earn crypto games aren't free. I figured there was a catch. So in the past, they weren't free, but you're saying there are some that are coming out that
Yeah.
are free
I,
because you're like earning crypto because they have your attention. So you probably are having product placement in front of you or
yeah,
something.
that, and also like you can get some of the coin and you stake it, or when you play, you like if you have a battle and you win, then you win some crypto. It's like
So that's kind of like betting on yourself kind of thing.
yeah, or it's like a reward where you would win anyway, but instead of getting points, you actually get crypto, and you can build that up and use that to purchase more NFTs or things in the game. Um, like if you was the battle bots. What the heck is the name of that? It's like battle bots, but it's meta something. Where is it? Let me look. Anyway, you get a robot, and then you can add like weapons, um, meta gear, and as you every piece that you add to that is also an NFT. So um, you have like the gun or the wheels, the chassis, things like that you add on, and you can sell that later on, in the secondary market as well.
When you say secondary market, like on another platform
Well, like in the marketplace, like if
of
I
that game.
of that game, yeah. Or I
Okay.
mean, you could in other places too. Like Binance Smart Chain has a big marketplace, which I don't like, um, because you
But
have
you
to have.
are, I'm sorry, you are able to take those NFTs off of those games or not always?
Yeah, because they're
Yeah.
if they're real NFTs, they're in your wallet. They're a
Okay.
non-fungible token on that
They're
chain.
off. Okay.
So, but the Binance one, which is a lot of people they partner with the Binance marketplace there, but you have to have a Binance account to log in. And with me being in Texas, Binance is blocked, period. So as soon as I log in, they're like, "Hey, you're in Texas. You have 24 hours to pull all your money off of your
Even
Binance."
Binance US?
Yeah, there's like 5 states
Oh,
that it's blocked in. Yeah. So if I forget to use a VPN, and you can't withdraw, like I can log in with a VPN, but if I want to pull money off, they're like, "Hey, you have to do your KYC." And as soon as they see that picture,
then you're
your
screwed.
Texas
Yeah.
driver's license, yeah, they're like, "No, you're
Oh, wow.
So yeah,
That's terrible.
yeah, that's
I
now
did not
last
know
Walker. That's a good point. You don't know if the game you're getting into is going to succeed, and that was kind of what I was talking about, like the old way of thinking, like 6 months ago. Whereas
that.
now,
Back in the old days.
it's just a good game. You're not really like you're going to play it because it's fun and it's cool.
Okay.
And if it takes off and you make a ton of money off of the token, they're two. I guess they're basically two separate things. Whereas the token and the investment side of it is one thing, but there's a lot of games that are just cool, and you're going to want to play it just because it's fun to play.
Very interesting. Yeah. So there's a guy that I met when I was at Utah Valley University last spring, and I got invited to go again. So I'll be going there in April. And Westwood and I are going to do a meetup there. And then I'm going to be speaking at the university again at the crypto conference. It's the first crypto conference to ever be sponsored by a university, and they're actually creating a certification from the university. So people that attend the event will have a certification from a college
Cool. Yeah,
in cryptocurrency. Yeah, it was really cool. I'm excited about it. Miss Teen Crypto was part of it last time, and Mame and Ben, and so this guy Bix, or Stacks. Oh gosh, now I need to look it up. No, Biff from it's like Goldman Sachs, not Goldman Sachs. What am I thinking of? Stacks. Now I'm getting it all confused. It's like game. Hold on, I've got to find him on Telegram. Yeah, Goldman Sachs. And it's Biff Goldman Stacks is his name. And there's a Telegram called Goldman Stacks. And it's all about gaming. And they do like promos and all kinds of stuff. I don't understand half of what they're saying because, it's that whole thing when you get into a new industry or whatever, they have the language barrier. It's difficult, but I wanted to have you on and kind of go through some of those projects and talk to you about what you've experienced and what you know about gaming and what are some of the better projects to look at, and definitely some of the less expensive ones for entrance.
Like Glass Walker was talking about, when you were looking at a game that really, like, whether or not it was going to be successful was important, because like you're saying, you've got to pay $100 or $150 just to have to get into the game. It's a really high barrier. That's not something you want to do just to try it out, or it's important for you to know, am I going to make money on this? Am I going to lose money on this?
Right.
What's the future of this game? Whereas, if it's like a $5, $10 game that you're going to go buy, it's not a big deal. It's just, you just buy it to have fun. So I think now it's more of a, like, two separate things. Is this going to be successful? Should I put money into it for that? Or is this just going to be fun to play? And, I don't have to pay a ton of money just to play.
Yeah. Well, let's do that this Saturday for my patrons. You guys, if you're not already part of my Patreon channel, you can join at the link below in the description. I'm trying to find ways for people to earn those residual income, additional income streams during this time. Do you have thoughts on Gala coin? I have been hearing about that as well.
And what was it? What was it? I remember it's one of the first projects I really got into with fun, and all the gambling. It was kind of like an amusement park kind of gambling thing. So that's old. What is that, like 4 years, 5 years old? Fun coin. But gaming, when you look at, I guess, called gambling gaming, that was such a big part of crypto, in the beginning. So I guess gaming has always really been a big part of crypto.
Mr. X Les is asking about Gala coin. Do you know about Gala coin?
Not a ton. Heard of it. Look it up. Did you look at any of those videos I sent you?
No, I've been talking to you, and I was at school all day, and then I had a meeting.
Yeah. Gala Games.
Somebody told me, I think Gala is the one that you can run a node, but it costs like $100,000 to buy the node or something. Isn't that one?
Let's see. This is, it's old. A couple years. Geez. 70. That was man. Just looking at the price of it. What was the one I got into? I made so much money on it. It was ridiculous.
Are you saying you're wealthy? Oh, you're muted.
Skill. Yeah. Thanks, Sebastian.
Oh.
Yeah. This Skill, that gaming system. I was farming it just because it was paying like a real high interest rate. And it 100x or something. It was insane. And I remember I was like looking at my farm, and I had $4,000 or $5,000 in it, and then it went to like 17,000. And I was like, "What the heck? I didn't put more money in that. What's going on?" And I looked, and the token just skyrocketed, and it went from like 15 cents to like a $1.20 or something. And I remember it was like 3x. So I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna pull out of this. I've made a ton of money." And then it just kept going and going and going. It was insane.
Super crazy.
Yeah, I'm looking at Gala Games. They have
oh, here's the Sims, all your dreams of NFTs. Here's one of the videos you did.
They have Walking Dead.
Here's another one you did about gameplay robots battling.
Yeah,
Metaverse.
that one's fun. Metagear. That's what I was talking about. It's like simple, That Cryptopolis is it's like The Sims. And then that my last 4 videos are all about games.
Yeah, so people can go to your channel. Go to Satoshi Sean on YouTube.
Subscribe, unlike Lisa there, so not subscribed.
This is my
I know.
bad profile that you actually this is where I'm logged in as the Very Dow profile. So I could subscribe to you.
Cool.
You have another subscriber.
Go down.
Okay.
Go to the social nerds there. Look, there's Lisa. What do you know? Yeah, subscribe to my social nerds. That's my kids' channel.
Wait.
All right.
There, I'll give everybody another subscribe.
Cool.
I'll give Rice one too.
Yep, you're subscribed. All right.
I need to go do, subscribe Social Nerds on the other one too. Yeah, so there's some videos right there. People can go watch some more about gaming. And then we'll do that for my patrons.
That D Horizon, I think that's free to play. And it looks really nice. Really, really good.
And we'll show them like how to connect which wallets you need, how to connect them, which tokens you need, and
all
all that
those are
stuff.
all Binance Smart Chain, which is cool because a lot of the stuff, originally was like being made on Ethereum, and the gas fees are just so expensive that it's tough to,
Oh yeah,
to play. Whereas Binance Smart Chain, it's so cheap, it's much better. And then stuff's being built on Polygon. That's another thing. It's with the features.
that's what I've seen. Yeah, a lot better, a lot better. Well, cool.
Grandmaster Melly.
And there's a link in the description of this video that you can go and just click right on. It'll take you right to Sean's channel as well, if you have any trouble finding his channel. So cool. And by the way, your shirt, I'm sorry, what did you say?
We haven't talked about Ukraine at all either. It's weird. That's all anybody's talking about.
I know. I just figure everybody's tired of talking about it. I mean, you're welcome to talk about it, but I think it's a distraction.
It's kind of cool that the president is staring the thick of it. He didn't take off, and he's not just going to some safe place or anything. I think it's just a kind of a.
I think it'll be interesting to hear what he has to say if he actually does the State of the Union tonight.
Who?
The president.
Oh, I was talking about Zelensky.
Oh, I thought you meant our president. Did you see Trump speak at PAC?
No, I was watching Tulsi Gabbard, but then I get all googly-eyed whenever I watch her. And think about our life together.
She's pretty awesome. I struggle cool with her because, she was a junior partner of WEF. And I'm like, okay, but I want to believe that she was infiltrating it because I think she would be, from what she says and what I hear her say, I believe she could be the next, like, a good president and be a good person. And I like her.
Yeah,
from how she presents.
She would have been awesome. I mean, she could be the president right now. She could have been the president.
Yeah. So I struggle with that, with knowing her connections and history. Just being totally honest. But
you can't argue with the fact she's cute. I mean, that's just.
Oh, she's gorgeous. That's a fact. No, beautiful. Native American. Yeah. Beautiful.
She's very very, very spiritual too, which is kind of weird to hear someone speak that openly about that, a politician,
Yeah, no, it's really nice. No, Trump signed off as your president. In conclusion, as your president.
I haven't watched it. I want to watch it, the whole thing.
I watched it a couple times.
I'm so, I don't know. I'm like jaded now. All these, far left people who are just the worst. Even, a year after Trump's been gone, and they're still just, like everything is about him. It's like, dude, get over it, man.
But do you think everything's about him?
No, they make it. Everything is like they're still talking about it, like that's all they know how to do. And then, they're like, oh, it's time for us to, come together. And how can people be so hateful? And I'm like, dude, you've been doing that for 5 years. How can you think you think we're just going to go back to the way things used to be? No, man.
Right. We can't go back. Yeah. We have to go forward. Yeah.
Nobody wants to come together. People want to see the other person lose no matter the cost. It's like they're willing to cut off their nose to spite their face. They're like, people are insane. They have become so we have become so divided. It's terrible.
But divided from who? Like, I think we're divided from the old system. I think everybody's done with the old way of doing things and looking for, if somebody would present a new solution that was truthful and transparent, I think people would grab for it. I think people are done with, I don't think people are going to go
yes,
stand at the old polls
but not the majority.
one more
I
time.
don't think the majority, but I think it's a lot more than it used to be that are just tired of it. This thing about, you say, hey, what this person is doing is wrong. What the president is doing is wrong, and they're like, well, Trump did, and I'm like, what? What does that matter? Or even when Trump was in office, like, hey, what Trump is doing is wrong, and then people, Trump supporters, are like, oh well, Obama did. I'm like, if something's wrong, it's just wrong, and that's it. It just needs to be wrong, and you need to say, yeah, that's wrong. It needs to stop. And if people won't do that, people aren't going to come together because they can't even admit that, yeah, that's wrong. That should stop.
I agree.
And because there's no moral compass, there's no moral values. It's obvious when, like, the cages thing. It's like, oh, cages are terrible. Cages are terrible. Trump cages are terrible. Well, Obama built the cages. Yeah, but you're doing it. Trump's doing it. And then as soon as Biden's in,
then they come to find out that those pictures were actually from.
Well, the cages aren't too bad now. And I'm like, no.
Trump.
Either
Yeah.
Either you have some kind of, moral ground or opinion, or you don't. And I think so many people, they don't have that anymore. It's just hate for someone else versus a legitimate opinion.
Well, okay. So with that being said, I think that is maybe what's being shown to us with the J6 stuff. A lot of the right, and we've had this conversation, and a lot of the right says back the blue, back the blue. And you brought this to our attention that, you can't just blanket say back the blue at all costs and put everyone under that blanket, because there are some police that cover up bad behavior that should be held accountable.
If you have to, like I said, I support law enforcement. Not
right.
Like, believe all women. No, some women are terrible and liars. You can't just believe all women. You can't just trust any.
Right.
If you blanket anything, it's a cult, whatever it is.
Right.
Whatever you do, if you just everything is perfect with this, then that's a cult. I want to see if I could find this thing.
Listen to the words, but believe the action. Examine the action. And that's what makes me think, I don't know if everybody's aware of this, but I was on a call the other night not that I was on a call the other night, but if everybody is aware of how many people have died associated with the J6 event. But 13 people have passed away now.
That's weird. It's a weird number. 13.
So
Afghanistan. 13. It seems to pop up a lot.
Matthew, what's Matthew's last name? Why am I blanking on Matthew's last name? Just recently was told that he was going to have more charges brought against him and committed suicide because they're basically being tortured in the DC prisons. And and the trial started today or yesterday. And there's, of course, no news covering it. It's all Ukraine. And that's part of the reason I'm like, don't want to talk about Ukraine. And
I'm sending you a video. I wanted you to play it.
In the private chat?
No, I sent it to your Twitter in the message. Okay. But okay. It's they're not hiding it. I mean, when you hear what she says, it's crazy.
Okay.
And nobody cares.
Hold on.
It could be that
while
unemployment and
I'll have to let me think about how to do this.
She literally says telling people and telling people what to think is our job as the media.
Oh yeah, I've heard this one before.
Yeah.
How can I make it like big or pop it out or something? Oh well, everybody will just see see all my business. Oh, let's see.
There's little arrows.
Where?
Right there.
Oh, but then they won't be able to see it then. See?
Yeah, there you go.
You guys can see that?
Yeah, it's perfect.
Okay. I didn't think they can see it when I do that.
Well, I can see it.
Okay.
The dangerous, edges here are that he's trying to undermine the media, trying to make up his own facts. And it could be that while unemployment and the economy worsens, he could have undermined the messaging so much that he can actually control exactly what people think. And that is our job.
Yeah, if you look at the issues, Yamiche is right. He's doing exactly what he said.
That is our job.
That is our job. And she's talking about who?
The media.
No, but she's talking about he could be undermining.
I think you're talking about Trump. And the other video I sent you up there is pretty funny.
Oh, okay. Hold on.
It's just goofy. I made it back, I don't know, a couple years ago.
This one?
Yeah.
Okay. Hold
My
on.
fellow Americans, I come before you today to talk about cryptocurrency. It's going to be huge, 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 I tell you. People say, what, huge like a pumpkin? Yeah, maybe a pumpkin like that one Harry Potter broad used to turn into a carriage in that Cinderella movie for that chick that one time. That huge of a pumpkin.
I love it. Huge.
It's huge.
Gonna be huge.
Huge like a pumpkin.
Huge like a pumpkin. I like it. It's cute.
I posted a King of the Hill one and one other one.
No, I'm sorry, Phil. 13 prisoners have not passed away. Ashley Babbitt was killed. Then, how many officers, they did the math the other night on the phone call.
There is some interesting stuff that I think we really should talk about. Both conspiratorial and non. First off, the stuff in Canada that was historically terrible, and the focus is now off that. The fact that had hit the United States and there's a convoy here, and without what's going on in the rest of the world, that convoy would have snowballed just like the one in Canada, except it's the United States, so it would have been much more worse, I guess.
But there are concerns with that. So I am subscribed to Patrick Byrne over at locals.com. I think it's locals.com. There's a website called Locals where you can watch them for free, but you can't chat unless you're subscribed to them, and you pay, I don't know if it's $5 a chat or $5 a month, something like that. But he has asked people not to do the convoy, to back out of it, because the convoy has been infiltrated by Antifa. And they're basically going to do the same thing that the J6 of what happened at J6.
I'm sorry. I am sorry. But
this is what I was told.
I'll tell you right now, if everything would have happened like they say it happened, if the president would have called for, this is it, screw him. If that would have been an insurrection, if everything would have happened the way that it happened, there would be no war in Ukraine right now. The United States would be a different place. The world would be a different place.
Well, who says there is war in Ukraine right now?
Everyone. But
not everyone.
My point is, if there was
not
that
everyone,
call, if there was that call on J6 and things went down, and there was a real fight, if people really did call to action, if there was real violence, there was nothing could stand against it.
Well, it doesn't mean it wasn't the right thing to do and it doesn't mean that there is war right now in Ukraine, and there could be other things happening than what is being portrayed. We know the media lies to us, and
but also the media, I think,
believe.
created a lot of the problem. But
Sure.
it's just like, it tends to bite off more than it can chew, and I think that's probably what's happening in Ukraine. I think there is stuff going on there.
There are things happening there, but not what's being told to us. I mean, it's the largest money laundering place. It's been known. It's the head of the Kazakhstan mafia or whatever it's called.
Well, that's one of the reasons why everyone seems to taking such an interest in it. China is taking its side versus Russia. I mean, that's unfathomable.
Well,
it's obvious. Ukraine is it's a big part of that, and I think most follow the money. It's one of the oldest things. Just follow the money.
mm-hmm.
And when you look at most Western countries, when it comes to money laundering and other things, the money tends to go there. But that's why it's such a big deal. I think I don't want to get a bunch of backlash from people, but when Russia comes out and with the point, like getting back to what I was complaining about, how, whenever you point out something's wrong and then someone says, oh, well, this other side did it. When they're like, well, hey, the U.S. did this. Hey, the U.S. has done this. The U.S. has done. Did no one care? Why is it a big deal for us?
Mm-hmm.
People need to realize that shit's wrong. It's wrong to attack other countries. It's wrong to we use the dollar as a weapon. And what we've seen in the past month is that the financial system is not just weaponized against other countries. It's weaponized against people. People can see now how much of a slave everyone is with what they've done.
Good. Thank God. It's about damn time they see it. It's about damn time.
The police in Canada didn't need to go and grab people or attack them. They could literally take a picture of someone sitting there holding a sign, facial recognition, and then they freeze your accounts.
So do you know that when elephants are little, they put a chain around them, and they tether them, mm-hmm. and they really can't move, and they fight it and they fight it and they fight it. And then when they get big, all they have to do is tie a little rope, and that elephant thinks it can't go anywhere. We are like the reverse. We have been slaves to this dollar and thought we were free, and we're just now figuring out that we're beholden to it and that we're slaves. We're just now figuring out. It's about damn time we figured it out. It's about damn time we learned that they could shut off our work and how we save our labor, and that we're trapped, and that they have all this power over us, and that we're not free. It's about damn time that we see it. I'm glad we're seeing it.
I think also one of the most important things is that it happened in Canada, because if it could happen there, there's nowhere it can't happen. It's a Western country. It's huge. I've said before, it's not some third world country. It's not some small country in Africa that the government, changes every 5-7 years. Some warlord took it. This is Canada.
Right.
If it happened there, I don't care what country you live in, it can happen to you. And I think that's what people are seeing, not just. And then one of the coolest things with the convoy, and I gave money to them with Bitcoin, and then I doxed myself on the website and made a comment and just laid it out. I'm, here's support from Texas. Come get me. I dare you. I think people are seeing that there is a way out that they never had before. Because
Right.
even if people did wake up and they're like, yeah, they have this power, we're slaves. It's, people have that New York attitude. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? And now there's an answer to that.
Right. And just like in 2007, 8, Lehman Brothers and all when the bank failures and people were like, well, what are we going to do? We're just going to take the hit. We're going to lay down and let the banks get bailed out and we're going to pay for it. We're going to get screwed for it. We're going to lose our homes because of it. And what can we do about it? What can we do but just let them take advantage of us? And now there's an option.
People have been trained, just like the elephant, to think that they're helpless and there's nothing they can do. And now, Patreon took in a bunch of money and then froze it. And then people say, okay, fine. But the first thing that Ukraine is doing, one of the first things.
GoFundMe, you mean?
No, Patreon.
Oh.
Patreon was this week. They took in millions and millions and then froze it.
I didn't.
But one of the first things Ukraine did is the government put out Bitcoin, Ethereum, and some other wallet. Hey, give it. We'll take crypto. So everyone can see now that even private companies, people are now starting to see the dangers of centralization and understanding that. That was one of the hardest things to get across. Why decentralization was important, because what GoFundMe did was just blatantly illegal. They took a bunch of money for a reason, and then they had it, and they said, we're not going to do that. We're not going to give that to them. We're actually going to decide where that money goes. It's different if they give it back to people, which you would think it's a private company. They would have to do that. But the blatant, brazen bullshit that they did, saying that they're going to keep the money, which they made $2 or $3 million off that in their fees. They're going to keep that money, keep their fees, and they're going to decide where that money goes to. They'll give it to charitable organizations.
Yeah, that's incredibly illegal. Like with my work in nonprofit work, I don't know what it is. Like, I don't think GoFundMe is considered a nonprofit, but in nonprofit work, that's incredibly illegal.
Right, but they it's this new.
It's called directed giving or misdirected giving or something, and you can get a lot of
first. We'll ask for forgiveness later instead of for permission. They do it. It's illegal. It goes to court. It takes a year. It takes 2 years, and then they'll deal with it. But at worst, they've gotten interest off of $3 million for 3 years. At worst, and now they have to pay it back. So people can see now why any kind of centralization, and whenever they're not in control of their money, how helpless they are. And the regular people are starting to get that part of it. So
I always said, like, how much pain is it going to have to take? What is it going to take for people to stand up for themselves, for them to stop saying, oh, I don't talk politics, oh, this isn't about me. I don't have to take action. I don't have to have an opinion about this.
It's taken regular people to not be able to go grocery shopping.
Right.
And buy food for their family. That's what it took.
Right.
When China had the social credit score, and we talked about, hey, they could just make it so you can't go grocery shopping for your family. Like, whatever.
That'll never happen here. That won't happen to us.
This happening here.
Yeah.
It took regular people who go out and work, 40 hours, husband and wife, to have their accounts frozen. I don't know. And people woke up before. They woke up in the 30s, and they're like, the central banks are the enemy. Don't trust bankers. Don't trust it. Put the money under your mattress. And then they were morons. And
then while you do that, you push the money under your mattress. And guess what? While you sleep, they print more. So it's worth less when you wake up in the morning.
Came out with that bill. And all they did was reverse psychology. They literally put money in a bunch of advertising saying, oh, we hate this. We don't want this to pass. and then everyone voted it in just because they said that they didn't want it. And then we had a wake up call in the 70s was it the 60s or 70s when they confiscated everyone's gold? They
70s.
confiscated people's gold in the United States. You weren't allowed to own it.
Yeah, they made it illegal to own. Yeah.
Yeah, and still people didn't wake up. That after that happened, for people to not wake up and see the control that centralization has, and finally it took this where they have no access to any money whatsoever. They can't. They'll lose their house. They'll lose everything they've worked for. If you don't own it, it's gone.
Yeah.
It took that. In one of the biggest Western countries that's famous for being ridiculously polite. That's what it took.
Well, last I heard today, silver was up like $1.20. I'm not sure what it is now. That was a couple hours ago. So people are hearing it and they're thinking about solutions. I'm not sure what Bitcoin was at.
Bitcoin, and that's what another thing I wanted to talk about that I think we needed to hit on is the reason, for the stability in the pump is because people are moving out of fiat. There's a bank run in Russia. There's a literal bank run. And people are putting that money into precious metals, gold, and in crypto. That's where it's going. This is one of the most volatile times in history. There's people talking about World War III. There's so much.
You can also
uncertainty.
anticipate. Yeah, you can also anticipate. They're also already hinting around about cyber war or cyber attacks and all this. Don't think that the banks won't use that to their advantage. Right now, if they've removed Russia from the SWIFT system, they have no reason not to attack the SWIFT system or say that there's a cyber attack and our system's down, so you can't access your digital dollars to get them out of the system. I mean, they'll play every game in the book. You have to also remember that was it Roosevelt declared the banking holiday, and then slowly rolled out, and they went around and decided which banks with the Fed would be allowed to open, which ones would be considered solvent and would be funded and allowed to open. Thanks, Phil C. He says silver is $25.41. And so they still are in control of all of that, and you can anticipate all that. I thought it was so ridiculous, and I don't know that I can find the video because I tweet way too much. But there was this huge long line and this little ATM box and these people. And I thought, there is no common sense. Like, how many people do they think are actually going to get served from that little bitty box? How many 20s do they think is in there? Like what?
Yeah.
Maybe 5-10 people are going to be able to pull out the maximum amount out of that box. Like, how do they think that thing gets filled up?
Well, what people are
the line went
hopefully
like
realize is that whenever you
past
do
the
start to mess
McDonald's.
with the money, whenever the word bank run is brought up, that's when the people care. That's when governments care. Gilets jaunes were going. It's like every weekend. Every weekend they're setting fire to Paris. Nobody cared, and then they said, "Hey, next weekend, let's everybody pull their money out of the bank." And then it was a big deal. Then the banks were closed, so they said, "Okay, everyone, let's just go to ATMs and just wipe them out." And they shut down the ATMs. So the government didn't care. They dumped a bunch of manure in the front of the steps of Parliament, and whatever. Let the little tykes tire themselves out. But whenever they started talking about messing with the banks, that's when they cared. But I think this is real. I think when people start pulling their money out and there's an actual bank run in Russia, it's getting real.
It's pretty exciting. Well, I think the people are waking up. I think they're realizing that there are tethered and they're not free. And I gotta say, it's about damn time. So
Yeah, it is. It's about damn time.
yeah.
And I mean, it's cool that people are waking up. But dude, I've said it before, that everything at this point, we would be in blood and fire, all of us right now, if it wasn't for crypto. I honestly believe that now.
Yeah.
I really do, because there's literally
There would be
there
no other
was no
option.
hope. Yeah,
Yeah.
there was nothing. It would literally be like, hey, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Oh, well. And now we've seen instantly. It's like, hey, Patreon shut this down and stole this money. It's okay. Here's a crypto address.
Hmm.
GoFundMe just did this illegal thing. It took millions and millions of dollars and stopped this. It's okay. Here's a crypto address.
Yeah.
And then it's also showing people the power of we the people again. It's not just the money or the sovereignty. It's literally the basic principle of we the people, of community, of me and my friends that I've never met before across the globe, that we can come together for a common goal and make something happen. And then when you understand the power of like a DAO and making it ultra focused, like a laser, that I think that's now when things are really going to change.
It's powerful. It's really exciting. I mean, and that's what, originally, we were supposed to be states. And that's where that small government and the idea of the Constitution keeping small governments, keeping the individual rights, our God-given rights protected. That is what the Constitution's about,
Yeah.
and that is what all of that can be again. And that's where we need to come together, stand beside, our brother, stand beside our neighbor and say, I respect your
The federal
rights.
government's supposed to be tiny, and its main
Right.
focus is just supposed to be protecting our rights and protecting us as citizens.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Yeah,
That's all they need to
that's
focus on, man.
Yeah. And hi, Jenny. I'll see you in Phoenix and Scottsdale. We're going to stay at the Retro Ranch. We're going to have a blast. When we go to see Bix and Amy at the roadshow in Mesa on, let's see, Bix's thing is on, I think, the 19th of March. So
Cool.
it'll be a lot of fun. Thank you, Sean. I will see you Saturday for my
Sounds good.
patrons. So you guys, if you aren't already a member, jump down in the description and join my Patreon. And we'll have a lot of fun on Saturday. I will see you guys tomorrow on Woo Woo Wednesday with my buddy Public Awakening. So have a great day. Thanks, guys.
Take care.